It's your boy alertwolf here. Gonna give you another review. And this one is of Green Lantern, the animated series, and this one is episode 18, Prisoner of Sinestro. Alright, now, this this episode is, basically what happens in this episode is Sinestro contacts the gang, so to speak, and with an SOS. He's aboard a Spider Guild ship. He's captured this little spongy thing, squid-looking thing, and he needs their help to get him out. The guy he captured is a dangerous prisoner, and he's on the Guardian's most wanted list. Now, at this point, Hal Jordan still idolizes Sinestro. Sinestro is very much his mentor, and he's badass. I mean, we do get some, what was I going to say? We do get some little tidbits of the romance between Aya and Razor. Mainly, he's still awkward. They're still awkward as shit around each other because they don't know. I mean, he's a hateful guy. He doesn't know how to express it, and so he's trying to avoid her for right now. And yeah, I think that's pretty funny to me. Now, the guy doing the voice of Sinestro, he sounds like Ron Perlman. I don't know if it is or isn't, but it's a similar voice. And basically, they go to the Spider Guild ship. They're warned to stay away, or they'll be it could be an act of war. But they go in there to rescue Sinestro. Now, Kilowog is not the biggest fan of Sinestro. He feels like Hal Jordan gets a lot of his bad habits because of Sinestro. They fly into this guild ship, which is huge. They end up getting Sinestro, but at the last second, the Spider Guild ship captain self-detonates the ship, destroying the ship, but our heroes are safe, and they made it. Then what you have is Sinestro, after the capture of the creature, Sinestro takes out a Spider Guild weapon and tries to kill everybody. They subdue Sinestro, take away his ring, and put him in the cage, and lock up his ring. And then what you have is it's basically what happens is this alien's ability. He has the ability to take over minds, to mind. I wouldn't say mind swap, but to possess you. He has the ability to possess you, and it starts possessing all three of them, of the main characters. And the first person possessed is Razor. Now Razor does some funny things to Aya. He comes on to Aya really strong, and so she's distracted, and he can get the weapon from her. He gets the weapon from her and goes to the basement to start wreaking havoc when Aya asks Hal Jordan and Kilowog about Razor's behavior, and Hal Jordan tries to explain this because he figures, he finally acted on his feelings, that hey, this is normal, it's all good. And she's like, no, but what about that weapon? Did you get the weapon he said you needed? What weapon? And then they go down there, and that's when they start possessing everybody. Now he can't possess Aya because she's a machine. So it's almost like a Mexican standoff. These guys figure out that you can't use the creature cannot use the ring. That's why he needs a weapon. So everybody's making constructs to see who does it. But the problem is he's so fast that he just switches from person to person to person before anybody makes a construct, and that's what's going on. Now, around this time, Sinestro escapes from the cell, asks Aya for help, gets his ring back, and figures out a plan. He goes down there, and while all three of these guys are having a standoff, he says, listen, there's one way to prove this. You don't need to fire your rings at the same time. I've decompressed the air in the ship, and we'll all suffocate in a few seconds. The person who can't, obviously the alien can't use the ring. Our rings will give us oxygen. So, the alien's gonna suffocate. And it turns out to be Razor. And Razor's suffocating. And the alien's being stubborn. And Aya wants to stop, and he's like cold. And basically this goes on, this drama-filled sequence for about a minute. Finally, the alien decides to retreat back to his own body. Razor gets control of his body and has, the ring instantly protect him. We head back to the cell where Sinestro goes back to. Sinestro had lied to the alien and basically made hell alive, saying that if he went back to his body, it's the only room that's been pressurized. He goes, oh, I get. So when the alien goes back to his body, he goes, oh, what's the matter? Oh, that's right, your body's suffocating too. I guess I must have damaged the seal in the room, and the panel he had left open. So Sinestro planned this, and what happens is the alien dies because he suffocates to death. Sinestro restores the panel, and when the others get there, they ask him what happened. He goes, I must have damaged the seal when I escaped from the room. They're like, but what about the Lantern code saying you're not allowed to kill anybody? And he's like, it's not that I killed this guy, I just didn't arrive in time to save him. I didn't save him fast enough. But anyway, good riddance, because would you really want this thing loose on Oa? What if he got into a Guardian? That type of deal. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. Well, more or less. We get another scene with Razor and Aya. Razor's apologizing because he's in the infirmary. He's like, I hope I didn't say anything to hurt you while I was possessed. And she goes, well, I should have known it wasn't you. And he goes, why? Come on, you have to tell me. She goes, yeah, you wanted to spend up time with me. And she walks away. And that's kind of, that's a shot in the gut, guys. That's just shot in the gut, especially if you care about this woman and you're just too awkward to figure out how to say anything. And she says something like that, ooh, shot in the gut. But it gives you hope. It gives you hope. So, how am I going to rate this episode? I absolutely loved the character of Sinestro. I love that in the end he gets justice, and Sinestro being darker is awesome. Obviously, you see the seeds are there. He believes that a Green Lantern Corps should rule by fear and with murder and whatnot. So, I dig it. Let's see. So yeah, this episode, I mean, the story wasn't grand and overreaching, but it was a fun who's story. We get introduced to Sinestro, so I'm gonna give this thing a 4 out of 5. It wasn't quite a 5, but it was an awesome episode. So yeah, I think I cannot wait for to see Sinestro turn bad. I hope that's gonna be at the end of the season or something like that. That would be cool. And there's still a couple of things I can't wait to see, because we saw in the preview, we still see the orange lantern that Hal gets. So there's still stuff for this season I'm looking forward to. The next episode is called Loss, and it deals with the Manhunters and the Red Lanterns finding out about them. So look it up if you like it, comment if you must, subscribe if you can. This is Alert Wolf signing out.